Rick, thanks very much for meeting me here today and
my pleasure.
spending some time with me to talk about this slip joint knife.
Yes.
So, personally, I'd like to know a little bit about how the whole project came about. I know from the information I have read about it, about the adjustable thumb stud,
Yes.
Well, adjustable and removable, of course.
Yes.
And kind of the why that was incorporated, and any special details about challenges that introduced. So actually, that's a big open-ended question.
Yeah. Well, the actually the Slippy first came about EWA when I was here 4 years ago, and I seen what the European knife laws, especially the laws in the UK, on locking knives and one-handed, especially one-handed opening locking knives. It seemed like here in Germany, it was the one you couldn't have a one-hand opening and locking at the same time, but you can have one-hand opening as long as it didn't lock. So I used to make slip joints years ago. Probably I've made 4-blade, the regular traditional patterns.
Yeah.
4-blade, 2-blade, like 2-blade trappers and things like that. So I was already very familiar with the slip joint mechanism.
Yeah.
And so actually taking and incorporating it into a design really wasn't technically that difficult for me. A few of the other technical parts that were a little bit more difficult was the fact that some of the things that I wanted to do to upgrade the slip joint, upgrade it into the 21st century, or would it be 21st or 22nd?
21st.
21st?
Yeah. It's 2000.
Everybody out there, look that up for us.
Still the 21st.
Okay. So anyway, so that was kind of the premise of what I wanted to do. And of course, I could have made a whole new design. I could have, went into did a traditional one or whatever. But I wanted to take and do the iconic XM-18. That's obviously my flagship, model. It's everybody when they think of Hinderer, they think of XM-18.
Yeah.
So I took the 3-inch XM-18 and I used that as the template, as the model for the slip joint mechanism. And so actually taking and engineering it to where the mechanism fit in, that wasn't, really a difficult thing. It just took me some time to get everything worked out from keep it the exact same shape, size, and everything as a 3-inch locking XM-18. Just switching it to having a full back spring and being a slip joint. So the second thing that I wanted to, and this is what I'm going to touch on with the one-hand opening mechanism. A lot of people, have asked me why, why not just the nail nick and everything. Well, the big thing is I wanted to have the one-hand opening, which is just like, a lot of the other modern knives, whether it's flipper or a thumb stud or thumb disc, but that actually posed a problem with the slip joint, and that problem was with one-hand opening. Was everybody has a different size hand.
Yeah.
And you've picked up knives before that, okay, well that worked, but that didn't work. Well, and that's on like a liner lock.
And obviously there's no resistance once you've got over the detent.
Yes.
It just swings around. So
you're
not going against spring pressure.
Right. And with the slip joint, you got spring pressure to overcome the whole way out.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be a little bit more difficult with somebody with, in other words, my hand's a different size than I'm sure your hand or somebody else's hand, and where their thumb goes. What's comfortable for me may not be comfortable for you on being able to overcome that spring pressure. So I came up with the sliding thumb disc, and I call it the disc track.
Okay.
And so what it is, it's just I milled a track into each side of the blade, and the disc is actually milled out to slide in that track. And I don't know if we have a handy dandy so I can show everybody, because it's actually really a neat way to be able to overcome that problem. I don't know if you guys can see it, but literally you loosen that up and you can see where it just slides down along that track.
Yeah.
So you can move it. Say I want to move it up here, tighten it down, and you're good to go. So
with the milling in the blade,
yes.
done before heat treat.
Yes, yes.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's done before heat treat. The other really cool aspect of this is the fact that you can take it off. So for those that are still a little bit worried about a one-hand opening in a blade, or they just don't like the thumb disc on there, no problem. Again, my knives, I like them to be user accessorized and make it your own, that type of thing. So this follows along that. So you still have and the track becomes the finger, the thumb nick.
Nice dual purpose,
Yeah. So that was pretty much the premise of getting past that spot. The other thing that, of course, we have the tip up, tip down, pocket clip, just like my regular XM-18. The other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to make it, again, to where people can change stuff out. The whole make it your own, thing. So the handles, I made them to where you can be able to change the handles out without taking the knife apart.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So these 3 screws hold the handle slabs on. So all you have to do is you just take those 3 screws out, the handle comes off. And you put a new handle on. You don't have
these are holding it together with the pivot.
Yeah, these are not holding. These are holding it together without the handle. So just with the liner.
Okay.
So you can literally take this knife all the way apart just to the liners, and it's still a working knife because the handle's not held on by these points, where it is on the regular XM-18. So.
Okay, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
And then you've got a few.
All kinds, and we're making a whole lot more, from titanium to carbon fiber to, you name it, we'll be able to put it on it, and the customer will be able to. So that makes it really, really, easily adaptable, especially for those that don't want to. A slip joint's a little bit different on taking apart because you got that spring pressure. When you put the blade back in, you have to kind of wiggle it in there because of the spring pressure.
That's a nice forethought there because I've taken apart a few knives with a few strong springs and regretted it.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. So this year you don't have to do that. On this side you take the clip off and the tab off, and that's pretty much what holds the. There's a screw in the middle there, that holds this side on. Take these screws out, that off, put new handles on, literally in minutes. Literally just a couple minutes. You can have what looks like a whole new knife. So,
excellent.
So yeah. So that was something that I really wanted to incorporate in it. And of course, it's all screw construction. The whole knife is screw construction, whereas a lot of slip joints are, pins.
Yes. So not adjustable later.
Right.
And couldn't be disassembled for full service anyway.
Right. Right. This you're going to be able to adjust the pivot and everything, just like my other knives. So.
You mentioned at the beginning about. A possible or update of the slip joint. Now, obviously, we've gone through lots of features that you've added to that.
Right.
Is there anything else about the way the tang interfaces with the spring, or any other changes inside that have updated the way it's working? Yeah.
On these, the Generation 1, what I did was I put an internal stop pin in the blade. So it's an internal stop pin because you can see it actually doesn't stop on the spring.
It's really close, but it's not.
Really close. Yeah. So it's an internal stop pin. So that's on the first generation. The second generation's not going to have that.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason why is manufacturing. It was a lot. It's something that and this is something that designers run into. So a great idea could be a great idea, but the manufacturing part of it could be, so we were running into a lot of, there's a lot of time in manufacturing on that, and it really didn't add a lot to the overall strength of the design or anything else. So after a lot of thought, I made a couple more prototypes with and without the internal stop pin, and it's still going to have an internal stop pin when the blade closes. That part of it is still going to be there.
Okay.
Just when it opens, it's going to rest on the spring. just like a normal slip joint.
Okay, and that stop pin is in a milled slot in the tang.
Yeah. Right now it's milled into a slot in the tang.
And how is it attached to? So if we were to disassemble this, take off the handle scales and start loosening the pivot, and to actually take the steel liner off.
Yes.
The pin, is it?
It just goes straight through both liners.
And it's just an interference fit, or?
Yeah. It's just a like a slip fit. So when you put both handles on, it's captured in there, so it's not going to move.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, so if you did take the handles off to do this swap, is it possible that pin could come out, or is it?
Yeah, it's more of a slip fit, but it doesn't like jiggle around or anything.
Yeah.
It would
it's
still.
a tight tolerance.
Yeah. I suppose if you took and banged it on something, maybe it might slip out or something. But it would probably take some pretty good. The assemblers, when they're working on it, they have to take it all apart and then take a punch and punch it through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a pin. Then,
No,
it's not
no.
nothing. It's not permanent.
No,
it can be
not
disassembled.
permanent. Right.
But it's that extra feature.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But in which case then? So you're saying generation 2?
Yes.
That will be slightly different.
Yeah.
Where are you in terms of? Is that all current stock? Obviously, generation 1.
Yes.
And when they're gone, they're gone. It'll
Yes.
just be the next batch produced will be of that format.
Right.
So just a small change. The
It'll
user
ju-
won't see it.
You won't even see it. Yeah. That's the whole thing. You won't even see the change, because all we're going to do is we're taking the channel out of the blade and moving the stop pin into a different area. That's it.
Okay.
So there's really no change anybody will see.
No. And it just simplifies the manufacturing sense.
Yes.
Well, more than slightly, probably. The cut
Yeah.
channel.
It was when I looked at it and I actually tested both styles, there was no difference in strength or anything between the two styles. So that was one of those. It was a manufacturing.
But if somebody wants something a little bit unique, they should grab the first generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We're gonna. I haven't figured out how, but we're going to mark the second generation so that it's distinguished, because you wouldn't be able to tell between the first and second generation if you were looking at it. So we're going to put something on it that people will know that's the second generation or this is the first generation. That helps with the collectability of those that got the first generation.
Yeah. Yes.
So folks, go out and get the first generation before they sell out.
So are these? Is there serial numbering on these or not?
No. The only knives that I've serial numbered are my like special series and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about the root design of this knife, is the blade steel the same?
Yes, 20 CD.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the colors on the handles, like the colors are. This happens to be orange, but we've already done the first generation in black, OD green, carbon fiber. Gosh, I can't think of the other ones, but bunch,
loads of options.
Bunch.
Plus, it can always be added to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, I think really that's a excellent roundup of what this is. So unless there's anything else you can think of, I think that's
no. I think that pretty much covers it. It's been extremely popular. We went through. We made a large batch on the first run and went through almost all of them, and so within months. So they've been extremely popular, and I am going to continue with the whole concept of the slip joint. There's going to be other styles, other models of slip joints coming in the future, and I have a new blade style that's going to be coming out in that as well.
Okay. So that isn't something I've seen a preview in a cabinet, is it?
No, not yet.
Okay. Oh, really interested to see that.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty cool.
Excellent.
I think everybody will like it.
Right. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Oh, well, thank you, Richard. It's great seeing you. And, enjoy the rest of an hour we got left.
I've got a lot to fit in.
Yeah, I think we'll be sleeping.
Yeah.